What up? Here we go again on our own. I bet you didn't know I had a beautiful voice like that. I know, it's a gift. It's my gift and my curse. All right, as always, this is Tyler Tarver with TarverAcademy.com. Please go check it out. We got a bunch of lessons. We got full geometry lessons for the first 8 chapters, and we're working on everything else for Algebra and Algebra 2. Maybe this is the future. Maybe we have it all up. We also have an app coming out on the iPhone. It might be out. I don't know. This could be like 3 years from now, and then it'll be out for a long time. If you have any more questions or examples you want me to work, check me out on Twitter at Tyler Tarver. Just take a picture of the example and tweet it to me, and I will try to help you if I can. All right, let's make this little guy small. Put him up here. All right, little guy, you just hang out up there. We're going to work some math. All right, what we're going to do today, a problem was posed about solving equations for a variable. Now, essentially what we're going to do is solving quadratic equations. All right, we've got x squared. Let me see if I can zoom in on this mug. There we go. Nope, we're just going to be able to move it. Okay, well, let's hang out there. X squared minus 16 equals 15x. Now, you can't really solve this, and once you get too far into it and you try to solve it just like a regular, equation that has, 2x plus 3 equals 10, usually just solve for x, get it by itself, and that's what x equals. Now, here you can't quite do that, because we've got an x squared, and let me see, we got an x squared and we've got an x. Now you can't add or subtract those, okay? You can't add or subtract something that has a different exponent like that. It has to be so similar. It's like what I used to explain. It's like playing an Xbox game on a PlayStation. They just don't mix. They're great on their own, and they can mix with their own stuff, but they can't mix with each other. Okay? So first thing we need to do is get 15x to the other side. It's a positive 15x, so we're going to subtract 15x. That equals 0 on the right side. Now, on the left side, if you'll notice, it's got x squared minus 16, then we're trying to subtract 15x. We cannot combine that, like I said, so it's going to have to sit alone. Now, whenever we do this, we like to order them based on their variables. Okay, there's an x squared here and just a regular x here, so we'll put it first, second, third. Okay, that's how we order those. Now, I know my terminology might not be great, but that's because I haven't been teaching math in a year or two, so I might be out of touch. All right, now what we're going to do here is to solve this is we need to find what x equals. Now the problem is x is going to be able to equal a couple things. The reason is because of this. All right. Now if it's just straight up x, we know x is what it is. But if it's x squared, we have the option to have more than one answer because it's not just 2 squared that would equal 4. Negative 2 squared would equal 4. So we can have a different number in there that would equal the same thing. So we're going to have 2 possible answers here. That right there is the reason that we could have 2 answers. Okay, so here we go. I think I said the same thing twice. Redundancy. All right, so what we're going to do is we're essentially going to do reverse FOIL. Hopefully y'all remember FOIL. It's where you multiply the first, outside, inside, last. We're going to do the reverse of that. Okay? With those x's there, we know that it's like this. Okay? Now, what we essentially need to do, we need to figure out what multiplies to equal this and what adds together to equal this. Okay? Those are going to give us our constants, our number values. All right? Now, alright, because we're pretty much done with the x's because I've already put them in. They're looking good, sitting pretty, right here, right here. Okay, so let's solve this. Alright, essentially what I like to do is I like to start with the multiplication. What's everything that multiplies to be negative 16? Okay, well let's figure it out. We've got 2 and negative 8, negative 2 and 8. With the negative, one of these little guys is going to be negatives. Now, I'll give you another hint. Ooh, man, all kinds of hints. See that right there? That negative in front of that 15? That means when I add these together, they're going to have to be a negative after they're added together. Now, that means that our largest number is going to win the battle. So, like if you add 2 numbers together, like 5 and negative 2, 5's bigger, it's positive, your final answer is going to be positive. Okay? It's like if you have more money than you have debt, you're going to have a money in the positive. And vice versa, if you have more debt than you have money, you're going to have it in the negatives. Okay? So that's going to let me know that this isn't an option. Okay? Which I guess I can mark it out instead of just sitting there. All right, because my bigger number is always going to have to be the negative because they're adding up to be a negative. So everything that equals negative 16, we've got 2 and negative 8. We got 4 and 4. There's not a bigger one there, so let's give it to that one. We've got 16 and 1. We'll make that one negative. And I think that's it. Okay, now let's add them together and see what they equal. 2 plus negative 8 is negative 6. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. And negative 16 plus 1 is negative 15. Ding, ding, ding. Wait, how about when I? All right, so those are my two numbers. Negative 16 and positive 1. Okay, and if we wanted, we could check that by solving this little guy. All right. Okay, now I've got my eraser. Oh. All right. This is the slowest eraser. I'm going to pause it and erase it. I couldn't figure out how to erase it, so we're just going to hang out right here. All right, so we'll do first. So x times x is x squared. Outside, that's plus x. Inside, that's minus 16x. And then last, be negative 16. Man, I need to work on that room. Alright, and then we can combine those, and it's x squared minus 15x minus 16, which is what we got. Good. Now, we're not done. We ain't done. Alright, because we're trying to find what x can equal. So what you do is you split these two right here, okay? And we're going to set each of them equal to 0 individually. So x minus 16 equals 0, and x plus 1 equals 0. Okay, we get x by itself, we add 16. X can equal 16. That's the ugliest 16 I've ever seen. And then we subtract 1. X equals negative 1. Those are our two options for what x can equal. So if we want to check it, we could go back to our original equation, plug 16 in for x, figure out what it is, see if these two sides equal each other, and then plug in negative 1 and see if it equals each other, which it should. And I'm going to go with it is, unless I get a bunch of comments from you guys saying I'm wrong. Then I'm going to go back and change it. Alright, cool, cool, cool. Remember, once again, oh boy, I don't know what I'm doing right here. Well, we're getting crazy. Let's just put this little guy right here. And let's remind you that tarveracademy.com for all your mathematical needs. Hopefully soon. Alright, we do have all the geometry stuff, and we're working on a lot of basics. We got a basics up, and we got some math, algebra. We're going to have algebra. It's the future, remember? It could be the future when you see this video, and everything's up. Anyways, check us out. We'll have an app, if we don't already, when you see this. And if you have any questions, hit me up on Twitter, @TylerTarver. More than welcome to follow me. Thank you, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.